Hi, Nat and Ursula here from the product team. Just want to talk to you a little bit about our new feature around utility billing, or RUBS. Um, RUBS stands for Ratio Utility Billing System. We started looking into this about middle of last year, actually. We had heard from a lot of our customers that they really wanted some way of integrating their utility billing system that they were currently using a third party with, and they want to integrate that back into AppFolio. And so, what we were able to do is kick off what we call market validation. And that's something that we do anytime we build a new feature or invest time and really try to figure out what's the problem that we're trying to solve. And then two, how can we solve it creatively? And, is this a new product? Is it just a new feature? We really need to look at it kind of from that point of view. And so we started the market validation, I want to say it was back in October of last year. And we started talking to customers, learning about the market. We conducted a number of interviews, really learned about how people want to charge their utilities back to their tenants. It's a growing market segment right now, as you guys can imagine, with rent prices being the way they are and the economy the way it is. It's really hard to raise rents in a lot of markets. And so, what a lot of property managers have done instead is said, how can we raise our revenues here so that we can collect more management fees? And billing utilities back to the tenant instead of having the owner pay it was a key way of doing that. And so we talked to a lot of customers, learned about how they were doing it today. They're usually using some third-party provider, we just learned about all different laws and the different regulations. I even went to a utility billing conference down the street over at Yardi, so got to meet a lot of the other people that were in the industry there. And the market validation results came back really positive. We even asked them, would you pay for this? What are your thoughts on this type of product if we built it into AppFolio itself? And everybody was really excited. We had great ratings on it. And then we had to make a really difficult choice. We talked to them and said, our original validation was, would you pay $1 a unit a month for this? Many property managers were paying $2 to $3 per unit per month for a third-party service to do this, and so we pitched them at $1 a unit a month, and the buy rating was great. But we didn't stop there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want Ursula to share a little bit about how we designed and built the feature.
So after the market validation was completed, the engineering team and the product team got together for a brainstorming session on what would actually be a minimum viable product, what feature needed to be included in APM to make this work. And then JJ and Kate, with the support of the engineering team, came up with prototypes to actually show clients who were interested in this feature and get feedback to see what would work, what wouldn't, what was user friendly. Because one thing that we pride ourselves on is making things easy to use. And there was some more iteration. The engineers developed the feature. We went back to clients to show them what we have, which is what you can see today. And how does it work? The feature needs to be turned on because not every one of our clients will want RUBS. So the client services team will be able to turn that feature on for whichever client requires it. And then there's a one-time setup of the allocation for each property. So the client will go into each property, turn on the allocation, whether it be water or electricity, based on whatever calculation that their law dictates, their state law or local laws dictates. And then once a month, they will enter their utility bill, and our very sophisticated software will calculate how much the tenant needs to be charged. So with one action of creating the bill, the tenant charges are posted. And then the last bit of this that will actually be very good news for a lot of our clients, and not only those that are using RUBS, is the tenant statement. So clients will now be able to provide statements to their tenants that include not only their utility charges, but also their future rent charges and any outstanding balance.
Yep, and so that's essentially the MVP of what we've built, and you guys will be able to see that pretty quickly here in your accounts. one note: there's a lot of utility billing companies out there that do this service, and when you're looking at like a Yardi or RealPage, and the way that they integrate is they make you export an Excel spreadsheet out of their system and then put it back into this other system, and then email out these statements, and then the tenants have to go and pay back online. They have to export another spreadsheet back to get which tenants and how much they were billed for and what's the appropriate amount that they should pay. It's really clunky. And amazingly, as I mentioned before, some people are paying, upwards of $4 a unit a month for this service. And so, as I mentioned, we evaluated originally charging $1 a unit a month for this. And at the end of the day, we had to really look hard at this and realize that, this is a feature, not a service. We have an important distinction at Appfolio between features and services. Screening is a service. It's a pay per screen. But really, this is a feature, and just because other people in the industry had charged for this in the past doesn't mean that that's the right thing for us to do. It's really simple. It's, the math calculation that we're doing on the end and emailing out statements. As you can imagine, it's not really rocket science there, but a lot of people are finding extreme value in it, and so. What we decided to do was go out and offer this for free. It's just a new feature into Appfolio Property Manager. If you want to use it, you can turn it on. We have customers already that are just chomping at the bit to get on this that we've talked to about the feature. It's going to be a huge win for us and big for our multifamily clients. We've heard people doing utility billing all the way down to 8-unit complexes, eightplexes. So large or small, if you have any kind of multifamily property where you want to bill back utilities, this is the feature for you. And as Ursula mentioned, even people that aren't doing utility billing will find a lot of value in the tenant statements that they'll be able to send out now. They're really professional looking. We spent a lot of time designing it and making them look good. So yeah, that's pretty much the RUBS feature. Thanks for listening.